Hello and welcome to Pro Trader Strategies Market Commentary for Monday, November the 5th. My name is Eric Wilkinson, and some of you may recognize me as the Wolfman from CNBC, Fox Business, or even the Wall Street Journal for my commentary on everything from economic to geopolitical and market analysis. Please keep in mind that everything that we talk about in these market commentaries is not a solicitation to buy or sell any of these securities or strategies. At the end of the day, I'm here to teach you some different strategies you can then implement into your portfolios, but please do that in your own way. Also, remember the past performance of any trading system or methodology is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, having that out of the way, let's get it on with the economic data. We've got crude oil here. Actually, economic data, let's talk about. Let's talk about across the pond. We got some ISM service, or actually just services. PMI, Purchasing Managers Index out of Great Britain, came in at 52.2, slightly lower than the expected 53.4. Here in the United States, we got our ISM, which is the Institute of Supply Management, non-manufacturing, which equals services, PMI, that came in at 60.3, expected to be 59.3, so slightly higher than expected. Is good for the overall economy. Remember, anything over 50 is expansion, and in the 60s is nice. It is good to see. And then later on, we won't see very many Fed governors speaking this week because they are on lockdown in a sense where they're not allowed to talk ahead of the FOMC meeting, which comes out on Wednesday, and that is going to be expected to be unchanged. So they're going to supposedly pause at 2.25% right now. All right, on to the overall markets. Then we've got crude oil moving slightly higher today. It doesn't really give us much of a chart set up here right now. You know, a settlement above this 23 Fibonacci would be good, but right now it is a very bearish trend here. It needs to have a nice big move back towards the point of control to make this not look too ugly. I could see it get a little overextended, maybe even test this value area low over this course of this week, heading into the inventory number on Wednesday, but I think it's probably going to start migrating back to the point of control is my feeling on that one. Gold futures pretty much unchanged. Really trying to decide what we're going to do in the overall equities. It seems like bonds moving slightly higher. You know, they're going to move higher. They already have this interest rate meeting baked into the cake, unchanged. But what we're trying to look at with the bonds is forward looking in future rate hikes. I think that they're going to start taking some of these future rate hikes out of the bonds, but we're going to have to see what they talk about in the FOMC. I don't know. They're usually behind the curve, and I'm usually ahead of it, it seems like. So they might not start talking the rhetoric I'd like to hear. But VIX, yeah, pretty much unchanged, but we got the Dow Jones Industrial Average up about 90 some odd points. It was in negative territory not too long ago. This is what I'm talking about. Friday made it look like it was very toppy. Today, in some of the markets, it was looking a little like it was getting confirmed, but I still don't believe that this setup is a topping pattern for any of the equities the way Friday set up. You know, we could say that NASDAQ kind of looked like that. We have to remember there was lighter than normal volume on Friday. Today, the NASDAQ looks like it's getting confirmed with it being down 90 some odd points, but we're right there at the point of control. So remember, this I don't think is going to set up like most people expect, like maybe a big slam down to the value area low. It's right there at the point of control. So we get some funky pattern setups in and around that as the market kind of jockeys back and forth. E-mini S&Ps finally moving into positive territory by about 1.5 points right now. But again, lining up with that point of control, it's just going to be feeling like it gets a little stuck in the mud where it's going to need a little bit more energy to get out of this area. And you can see with today's market action, we have a very inside day. Over the last 3 or 4 days, at least until Wednesday, it's basically an inside day of all of those days. So just not really being able to break out of this little area of the equities. And having said that, I haven't added or taken anything off for any of my trades. I'm just going to be looking at earnings for right now. I am negative deltas as of right now, so I'm not too concerned with more of a correction because I've gotten my deltas negative. But having said that, I'm not going to add anything. I'm peered, or I'm leaning towards the downside. But having said that, most of that's coming from my Under Armour shorts from the negative deltas. So I'm going to have to play around with it if things start changing up a little bit. And that's about it. Friday's webinar is going to be a really good one. I'm also going to be doing Festival of Traders tomorrow and talking about the importance of volatility, specifically in and around options trades. I don't think people do it enough, and I'm going to be talking about that tomorrow, so you can check that out at Pro Trader Strategies. And then Friday, we're going to be having a great webinar on synthetic longs and synthetic shorts coming up. Is going to be our next couple of webinars, so check those out. Great for these type of scenarios in and around these type of markets where you don't want to use all your margin, save some of it maybe for some earnings trades. I'll show you how to set that up on Thursday's webinar. So go to protraderstrategies.com, and that's about it. If you can't take that, take it easy.